I am back. I'm here with my co-host Heather C, and we're doing our unexpected episode 7 podcast last night. There was a birth last night, which we will talk about right now, actually. So Rihanna went into labor. Nope, lied. She actually had a scheduled C-section, which was considered elective, but her mom called, pulled some strings, and got it taken care of. And she went in to have the baby, and she was super nervous, as anyone would be, only because this is her first baby at 15, and she also has a medical condition where she cannot have a vaginal birth. And on top of that, Taryn was not allowed to be in the delivery room with her, and she was just super nervous. So we watched it all play out. As you can see the look on her face, she was just uneasy. But after getting there and getting the anesthesia, she said that it was actually really great. She said at 5 minutes after she got the anesthesia, she's like, oh my gosh, when am I gonna have the baby? And then she's like 10 minutes later, she's holding the baby. So she actually had a really good birth. We're really excited, and we want to welcome Danica Marie Ward to the world, who we got to meet last night.
So cute.
Beautiful baby. I feel terrible that Taryn wasn't able to be there to see the birth. And I wanted to see them at least FaceTime him. It's probably happened off camera though. So he could at least meet his little girl. Because I can't imagine not being able to see your daughter being born. And I feel terrible for all the people who had to give COVID births this past year. It's been very tough. Fathers have not been able to meet their children. And actually they said during the episode that they didn't even know if he was going to be able to come in as a visitor after the birth, because that wasn't even being allowed. So this was just a double hit for Taryn. As you can see in the show, he's really distraught. So much love to him right now. I know watching this is probably really difficult for him to go through, because this is something that the camera people got to experience and he didn't. So I feel really bad about that for him. So let's talk about Lily and Lawrence, who we saw last night. Ultrasound day. And Lily was talking about childbirth and how it's painful. And Lawrence had the comment, he's like, I think that all childbirth pain is in your head, and if you just tell yourself it doesn't hurt, it won't hurt. So I want to ask a woman this question. What do you think about those comments?
He's got a lot of growing up to do. That's the nicest way to say it. I mean, when a woman goes through childbirth, that is the most excruciating pain a woman will ever experience probably in her life. It's been compared to near death. I mean, especially if there's, no medicine involved, all natural. He's obviously still young, still immature, has a lot of growing up to do, and he'll learn. He'll learn. Maybe he'll be able to be in the delivery room and see.
I hope so. I can't imagine why he would make that statement. And then on top of that, Lily revealed last night that she plans on having a natural birth. She wanted to do a water birth, but she said that it seems to be expensive, and I don't think they cover it by the insurance. But she did say she wants to do a natural birth. She didn't like the way the anesthesia, the epidural from her first birth left her feeling in her back, and she said there's a lot of issues with it. And I really hope that she has a good pregnancy, because I've heard of people who've had natural births, and I can't imagine going through that. I don't know anyone who would tell you it's an easy process, because it's not. So I'm hoping that everything works out for her with that. And then one more thing I want to talk about with them, because I want to get everybody's opinion on this. So Lawrence's family is for circumcising their son, and Lily is 100% against it, because she believes that it's cruel and an act that you shouldn't commit on a child. So where do you stand? First of all, I think that it's cruel and it's horrible to do, but I feel like it's necessary. How do you feel?
I think that they need to get educated some more. I think they need to do some research, maybe talk to a doctor, a specialist, see the pros and cons. I mean, it's hard because it's mother, father. They both have equal rights to their children and what happens in the child's life. The mother's bringing the child into this world, but the father helped. So, it's hard. So I think that they really need to do some more research. I mean, no mother ever wants to see their child in pain. And, when you do something like that, the baby's crying and everything. But I think in the long run, in my opinion, solely my opinion, that she should think about it and do it, because I think in the long run it will be easier for her child to just get it done and over with, and she doesn't have to worry about infections or, you know, anything like that. But yeah, that's a decision they're gonna have to make, and you know, they want to be grown, so it's your first grown-up decision. You're gonna have to figure it out. So do what's best for your baby.
Yes.
Not for you, for your baby.
Yeah, and don't make it about who's right and who's wrong, because they were at war with each other at the end of the episode, and I don't want them to look at it as I want to be right and I want to win, do whatever is, like you said, best for the baby.
Exactly.
So Mirka and Ethan were on the show last night, and she's 37 weeks, and she's gonna give birth at any moment. They've packed the bags, and during the episode, she told us that she picked Ethan to be in the room with her, so not her mom. Obviously, Liliana didn't want to be there.
No, she made it clear.
Yeah, so it's not Ethan's parents, it's just Ethan. So she's super nervous because 2 children in the operating room, you know, in the delivery room, you don't know what to expect. At least a parent would at least be able to prepare you for what's going to happen. And she's in it all alone with her 17-year-old boyfriend, and I just hope they're ready for it. And she feels like Ethan isn't. She made the comment last night that she doesn't think he's mature enough to be a dad.
See, I don't know. I disagree with that. From whatever I've seen on there, I think that his parents keep him pretty grounded. I mean, I don't know what happens outside of filming, but every time I see him, he's always with her. He's always involved and stuff. I mean, he's a child. He's gonna be immature. That's a given. But it seems like he's stepping up, and that's the first thing. Stepping up and owning up for what you've done is the first step of being mature. Yeah. So they're in this together, and if they want to bully and pick a fight with anybody, she needs to take it up with her mother, because her mom didn't have to be so extra with her comments.
Yeah, we saw a lot of that last night. So Mirka did go into labor at 37 weeks.
But she thinks.
Well,
right?
As the episode ended, they were on their way to the hospital. So we don't know for sure.
We think.
There is a possibility you can get to the hospital and they send you home.
Yeah.
But her contractions were timed, and on their way out the door, she calls her mother. And her mother, I actually said previously in my last podcast that I thought that maybe Liliana would change her tune when Mirka went into labor and the baby was born. And to my surprise, her response was, "Don't think for 1 second I'm excited for you or this baby." And I just thought that was horrible, extra hurtful. And her daughter is terrified. She's on her way to the hospital to give birth at 16 years old. She has no family with her other than Ethan's family, and the first thing that her mother says to her is, "I'm not excited for you. I don't approve of this." And I want the hateful comments to stop. She needs support. You can love someone and not agree with what they've done or decisions that they've made. And I feel like Liliana doesn't know how to decipher between the two. If she doesn't like something that you did, she won't show you love, and that's not how a parent should be.
Support your children.
All right, guys, so Jenna and Aiden were back. We didn't get them last week, and the baby shower is still up in the air. We were talking about the one big baby shower between all the families, because we have Aiden's family, we have Jenna's dad and stepmom, Kathy, and then we have Heather, Jenna's mom. This is a whole confusing circle. And just like Matt, Jenna's dad, said, it's a complete disaster. So they put all the parents in a group chat, and they're trying to plan the baby shower, and there's absolutely no communication. There's all arguing and fighting. They can't decide on food. They can't decide on anything about the baby shower. And Jenna's like, "Oh my God, this is a disaster." And I'm thinking, yes, this is exactly what your dad tried to tell you. It's going to be a disaster. They don't get along. And we learned a little more about the situation between Jenna's mom and Matt, and actually Aiden. Aiden told us last night that she tells her daughter all the time, "You should leave him. He's not a good enough boyfriend for you. You should have aborted this child and left him." And these are all things we weren't aware of when we were hearing Matt say he wanted nothing to do with her during the baby shower. And now we're kind of seeing a picture drawn of why he feels that way. And Aiden actually feels the same way. So now we're kind of getting a little background on the story.
I always feel like it's him and her dad versus her. I feel like he meshes well better with her dad than she does. She definitely has that "I'm a little princess and got daddy wrapped around my finger" type of thing. I think that there's hope for them, but I think mixing the mom and the dad might be kind of toxic. They want to have a healthy environment, and if their problems are stemming from way back when, maybe if something simple as just having separate stuff just to keep the peace, it might be better. Keep a very healthy, happy surrounding for the baby, so that way she doesn't overly stress, because she broke down and cried, and she told him that she was mad and all this stuff, and it's like, it's sad, but that's just hormones, so I'm sure she'll get over it.
Right. I want her to understand too that it doesn't mean that this is what it's going to be like forever, because you said in a previous episode this is starting the precedent of separate birthday parties, separate Easter, separate Christmases. She doesn't want that for her child's whole life. Her mom and dad do have time to work on themselves. They might not be able to do it for this particular baby shower. So I hope that she understands that there is a possibility that they can work it out, but she can't really give them a deadline to work out all these unresolved issues. So that was the episode last night. I hope you guys enjoyed it. It was amazing. Next week, we are going to meet Mirka and Ethan's. I'm sorry, not next week. I keep forgetting that the Super Bowl is on next week. So the week after, we're going to meet Mirka and Ethan's daughter, and we're really excited about that. I'll put our Twitters at the bottom. Thank you guys for joining us for the Unexpected Podcast. We'll be back here in 2 weeks to talk about it again, and we will live tweet it with you again. I'm George Mossey. This is my co-host, Heather C. Thank you guys so much, and we will see you guys real soon.
Bye.